So we have a record-breaking attendance now, 50-something people. Amazing stuff. Now let's go and start. What we will do now is, let me explain. We will do a dragon. It's not a dragon, it will be a dinosaur. A little kind of cartoon dinosaur, which then we will try to make low poly and UVs. The low poly, of course, for this amount of time, we will not do it properly. It will be done with with quadra mesh. So with quadra mesh it will be done. And mostly we will not retouch it from the quadra mesh, but there will be some things that we have to do. Then we will try to go to Substance Painter, bake, and then put it in Blender. The low poly with the textures and everything in Blender. We'll see if we will be able to do it, but in order for us to do it, I think I need to do the high poly for half an hour probably. So in less than half an hour at least. So let's try to do that. So we'll see how it will go. And also answering questions and stuff will not be as much this time because we need to do it. Yeah. And this, why am I doing this? Because I wanted to do it for a long time, and I probably will do a video of this, the same thing, on my main channel at some point, but it will be just a normal video, not a stream. And this is some kind of a training for that video. It can be seen as a training for this video. So yeah, that's what we are doing now. Training for the video, and also we'll try to do it for less than 2 hours, the whole thing. I can do it for less than 2 hours, I know I can, without too much, you know, taking care of too much of the low poly. The low poly will not be the best low poly ever, I promise you that. The high poly, I mean, and the low poly also. So both the high poly and the low poly will not be the best ever, but I'm pretty sure they will be fine. For our purposes, they will be fine. For our intents and purposes. So, where is the concept for this cartoon dinosaur, you will say? There is no particular concept of this cartoon dinosaur. What I did was, I went to Pinterest, where I found most of my concepts these days, because in Pinterest you can find anything that you're looking for pretty easily. And I wrote a dinosaur, or T-Rex. I think I wrote a T-Rex. Then I started to look for more cartoony versions, and when you click on something in Pinterest, then it feeds you with similar results afterwards, which is great, and they become more cartoony and cartoony. And now I have a, let me show you a page with some cartoon dinosaurs, and I'm not doing any particular one, but I'm doing something like this. So that's it. That's it mostly. And as I said, answering questions will not be our priority for today. Our priority will be fasting, not fasting, but speed. And yeah, we have record-breaking attendance in the beginning of this video, which is 50 people, now 39 people. So it's interesting. When I started the video, the attendance of people, or the presence of people, fell, which is great. So people don't want to see me probably. I don't know why they were here in the first place. What were they thinking they will see? Gal Gadot or who? I don't know. It's me. It's just me. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that's just me and not some pretty and naked lady or whatever you want. It's just Nico, but yeah, that's it. We know that. We know that it will be me. This is my channel. Usually I am in my channel, not some beautiful girl. But yeah, so this looks a little bit awful now, this dinosaur, but it will look awful at the end also. Why, you will ask? I will tell you why. Because Blender crashed, which is not great, usually, because we have to start all over again. Or look if we have something for recovering, autosave. Yeah, we have some autosave from a couple of minutes ago. So let's continue from this autosave, it will be fine. Yeah, I know. Sometimes this happens and we cannot say when it will happen. Soon. I haven't had this issue, by the way, Blender crashing, but you never know. You never know. It's interesting when Blender crashes. It's super cool. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. Sometimes it can be very devastating, but we are fine. Will this stream be available to watch later? As all streams, yes, it should be available, but is it gonna be useful? I cannot promise that. I can promise that I will try, but will I succeed? It's unknown for now. Just for now, we don't know. But we'll see. Hopefully everything will be okay. The head of the dragon, I kind of made it. Now I have to remake it again, which is not a problem because I like making heads, and that's great. And when did it crash? I tried Control Z of the mask and it crashed on that. So I don't know if it's supposed to crash on masks or Control Z. Undo, mask, crash. Who knows? Maybe Blender is just built this way. We don't know. What do we know? We don't know anything, actually. We never know. You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star, but you came on, get played. Hey now, you're an all-star, but you came on. Yeah, this is the same dragon from, or T-Rex from Tekken 3. Or Tekken, some other Tekken also, because I think it exists in other Tekken games too. This dragon. It's called Gon, maybe, yeah. Gon. Pretty easy name, you know. 3-letter names are usually very easy to remember, but I don't remember them that much. Now, if my humor in this occasion, in this video, is a little bit strange for you, this is because I'm watching currently, and probably some of you know, I'm watching the series of The Office again. I'm rewatching them. And in The Office, the humor, especially Michael's humor, the guy who is in charge there, is a little strange and offensive. Very offensive sometimes. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll become what I watch. I'll become Michael. Michael! Everybody likes Dwight and Jim. Even Michael is kind of a nice character. He's not bad, but he has this personal disorder, narcissistic personal disorder or similar psychological disease he doesn't know about. Other people know that he has it, or at least they are suspecting him. He doesn't. And he always have to be a center of attention. He always have to be just, you know, he always have to win. He cannot lose. And those kind of people are sad. They cannot be happy because you cannot possibly always win. But that's what's interesting, because it's interesting to analyze the character and seeing if you have the same traits somehow. Who knows? Maybe we all have similar traits. We all want to win. We all want to be a big rock stars. Okay, he doesn't have too much arms right now, but I will try again with my mask. And this time hopefully it will not crash, because it crashed. The last time it crashed exactly on this occasion, on the mask. Good morning from Brazil, you say. Okay, good morning Brazil. If it's morning in Brazil, because in Bulgaria it's definitely not morning. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not exactly morning here, but it cannot be morning everywhere, right? You cannot possibly think that it's morning everywhere in the world. But in Brazil, obviously, it is morning. Saturday, when I was teaching people in the university, in the academy that I'm teaching here in Bulgaria, I was teaching them anatomy, and one of the girls, she came out late. And she came at like 12 o'clock. Yeah, not too late, because the class started at 12 and she came at 12:01, so she wasn't too late. But she said good morning, which at 12 o'clock in the noon is not exactly relevant, in my book at least. Some people are getting up pretty late, but in my book 12 o'clock in the, we may say in the afternoon even, it's not exactly morning, since it's 12. No morning. Morning in my book, this is just my book, and I'm not gonna show you this book because it's in my head only. But in my book, morning is ending at 9 o'clock a.m. 9 o'clock in the morning is the last morning. Then it's not morning anymore. After 9. Sorry about that. It's, if somebody thinks that I am not right, you know. Yeah. How am I doing? I'm doing great. I'm always doing great. Even if I'm not doing great, I'm doing great. Why? Because two things. First, even if I'm not doing great, you shouldn't know about it, because it's useless for me to complain in my YouTube channel. Nobody wants to hear other people complaining or being negative. We're all here about learning something and about positive things. So, yeah. And second, even if I complain, nothing will change that much. You know? So complaining is, I guess, useless. But who knows? Maybe some people think that it's not useless. Maybe complaining for some people is the best thing you can do ever, but I don't know. Where is my model? If I press home, sometimes I see it. Now, you cannot see my keys because I forgot to turn on the screencast keys, but now you can, and you shouldn't complain. Because complaining is what? Yeah. Okay, guys, this channel is not only for 3D. It's for life advices too. Yeah, make sure that you remember that. And when you hear more life advices from me, don't be alarmed, don't be scared, don't be surprised, because there will be life advices. And if you don't like life advices from old, wise 3D artist, then you shouldn't come to this channel, because that's what you'll get. Sometimes life advices here, I know. So how much time do it have passed? 12 minutes with one a little bit of a bump. Blender crashed, but Blender is good this time. It crashed, but still remained, you know, we hadn't had to start from absolutely scratch, so it's fine. It's fine, guys, don't worry. Don't you worry. Now, let's see what we can do with this high poly. We need teeth. Yes, I know that. So don't worry, we will have teeth at some point. But before that, I will do some stuff. We need overall forms, which we don't have, but we'll do them. Maybe I think I need the head to be a little bit bigger, so I will try to achieve that. How, you will ask? It will be very difficult, but we will do it. So I will go to this and increase the size of the head. I think this is better. Maybe I can move it a little bit back too. Yeah, he is not cute in this case. He's not exactly cute. He's more like scary. But I don't know if he will ever be cute. Again, he will never be cute. I don't know why. These days, here in Bulgaria, we have a gypsy summer. We call gypsy summer when it's autumn and we have warm days. Yesterday I went into the pool with my family. We had a pool day. It was very nice. We were swimming and everything was pretty cool. Because it was 27 degrees. Celsius, of course. Nobody's talking Fahrenheit here in this channel. In this channel, you will rarely hear the word Fahrenheit, pounds, except if it's about British pound, which is the money, or some yards, or other type of food. Food, you may hear food because we are doing anatomy sometimes, and we are making feet, but other than that, you probably won't hear those. So yeah, be careful about that. Now, let's see. It's getting pretty good for 12 minutes sculpt, I would say. If you think you can do better in 12 minutes, oh no, now 15 minutes, I'm sorry, almost 16 minutes. So yeah, we are not in 12 minutes anymore. Where I am, why am I thinking that it's 12 minutes sculpt? It's not. It's more like 15 minutes now. But we have 15 more minutes to make sure it looks relatively fine and color it. Then we will start the low poly, the UVs, and all the other stuff that we have to do. More technical stuff, not so fun, I know, not so much fun, but we have to do it in order to go to the full production pipeline. It's not going to be full production pipeline, because we will not take care of the texture that much in Substance Painter. We'll just bake in Substance and we'll see what will happen. If Substance Painter, for some reason, take it slow and the baking will be slow, I'm not responsible for that. My video card is just old, and sometimes it just is a little bit slow. But it's not a weak video card, it's just slow. Not slow, old. Old but gold, we may say. My video card is 2080 Super, which back in the days was astonishing and one of the best video cards out there. Nowadays, like maybe 4 or more years later, it's not exactly the best, but still it's relatively fine. So, let me tell you something. These arms are not good to be like this. They're too close to the body. You cannot possibly make them very well animated if you leave them like this. I will try to make sure they are a little bit more animatable, but not too much. Or too much. We'll see. Yeah, the idea is that we have to have some space between the body and the arms, so there will be topology there, and also the animators can rig them, skin them, and animate them later. If we don't leave it, it's because we don't have time, since I have put a time frame on this, and we have to do it for half an hour, the high poly. That's why I will not. These are disclaimers that I will do sometimes. The low poly also will not be perfect. I'm pretty sure it will not be perfect, because it will be done automatically with Quadrimesher, which is, until now, it's the best. Or Quadrimesh, how it was called? Quadrimesh, yeah, Quadrimesh. It's not a free add-on, unfortunately, but it can do the job for some things which you want them to be very fast. For render, for example, but for animation, I would stick to the manual retopology mostly. Since we don't have time for manual retopology right now, as we don't have any time for manual retopology, it's fine. Now, let's go to add a sphere. This sphere will be our teeth. All of our teeth will be this sphere, and you will see how. This is... many people will say, but this is just a sphere that you have, you know, made a little bit bigger. But this is also a tooth. It doesn't seem like a tooth, but you will see that it is exactly that. Very, very soon. I'm just Shift D, move, Shift D, move, and we have some teeth. Now the bottom teeth, the same way. Shift D, move, make it smaller. Okay. Shift D. Move it here. Sometimes it's a repetitive process and we have to just endure through it. Not all the things involving making a character or exactly making a character are fun and enjoyable and super nice and cool. No. Sometimes we have this boring stuff that we have to endure and go. Yeah. Do I have experience with Marvelous Designer? Somebody asks. Not too much. I was working with Marvelous Designer a couple of times, but nothing to brag about. If I have to do work with Marvelous Designer, most likely I will decline a freelance which involves Marvelous Designer, or I will just use the help from a friend, because I have a friend who is pretty good with Marvelous Designer, and if he is willing to help me, yeah, we'll do that. So now, this dinosaur doesn't have a tongue, and it will not have because I don't want to do it. We will get without a tongue pretty well, I think. He's not very bright, but let's make him a little bit nicer by increasing the size of his eye. What? Can we have the eye and increase the size of it? Okay, thank you very much. Move it in. And it's cool. Now, we have to color this guy. First, let's do one more pass of, if we have time. One more pass of detail. Yeah, we have a little bit of more time. One more detail pass. And smooth here and there. Let's do a fast detail pass now. And what detail pass means is that we will do some details around the model itself. And you will see what will happen. It will be an amazing experience doing the detail. No, it will not be. It will just be some details and that's it. Okay, X. Here I will need some knuckles. Good job. Yeah, I'm spending too much time on the legs, but the legs are pretty important, especially for a dinosaur, because they are pretty big. They are not like human legs. He may have some shoes, but in this case he will not have. Especially a cartoon dinosaur always can have shoes. It's possible. But our dinosaur doesn't have shoes. So we have to just be quick or be dead, as you know. Yeah, you know, in the Wild West, be quick or be dead. Or you don't deal with guns. That's also a good advice. You just farm your land and don't do it. And you will be fine probably. You will live through your 1,000 or whatever years it's possible for you to live. One more thing we have to do, and we have to do it, and that's why we will do it. Not because we don't have to do it, because we have to do it. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but we need to do this. And what is this, you will ask? I'm not gonna tell you, but you will figure it out. I'm sure you will figure it out. Definitely, it's not difficult to figure out what exactly am I doing right now. It's not the most difficult thing in the universe, I would say. So I'm sure you all will understand. Maybe we can even do one little horn in here. Why not? We can do whatever we want. Oops. Control Z. This time it didn't crash. Save. It's a good idea to save. Okay. And now we just, you know, do this. A little horn in here. Pretty cool. Those things. Easy. As you can see, it's just easy to do those things. So don't think that doing detailing on your dinosaur is hard. No, it's easy. As you can see, it's like a child's play. Very, very easy and fast to do it. But yeah, we have 5 minutes to do some coloring, which is absolutely enough. Maybe many people will say, but Nico, is 5 minutes enough for you to do some coloring? Hopefully it will be enough. People all the time ask me, Nico, can you do a coloring of a T-Rex, cartoon T-Rex, in just 5 minutes? And my answer is always, what the hell? So yeah, you know, the conversations with people is always fun. I always like to talk to people and see what they can say about it. Now, let's make it green, kind of a darker green like this. Let's see. Amazing, the colors on, but this is not all. These are just the primary color. So we have a secondary color, which will be the belly. So let's do it. Amazing, the belly is done, almost done. Now we have the color in the mouth. In the mouth, the color will be a little bit darker and a little bit like probably this. Yes, good job. Now we have the nails, which will be kind of this color. Yes, so this will be our yeah, claws, nails. Probably not nails exactly, probably claws. Claws will be more appropriate, I think. So let's call them claws and it will be fine. It will be easier to distinguish all those things with color instead of just with the geometry. And probably I will do a little bit of coloring on top of those. So they are looking a bit more like a bone. I'm not sure that's a super nice idea, but it's fine, especially in this one. It's cool. Now I will go with a darker green color and go through the nose, around the eyes, around the mouth a little bit probably, and here in the bottom here also. Just a fake shadow, we may say. And then what I will do is, I will do the same with this. Those are such things like, you know, coloration. But I'm not using symmetry this time, so we have to be careful about those things. We are without symmetry. Because, let's say this dinosaur will be used in a type of game like a Maze Runner or something. So we will see it from this position mostly. He will be running, mostly running from this position. And from the back. So we need it to be not so completely and absolutely symmetrical, hopefully. Yeah, but give me some slack. We are almost 30 minutes into this, and I have done a model with vertex color, and it looks relatively fine. So I think what you should do, instead of asking questions in the chat, maybe applaud. Yeah, I know, it's a little bit too much. So don't apply. No, applaud. Now, applaud. Now I will go subdivision surface 2 times on the eyes, because I want the eyes to have a high poly. And let me think. So the eyes, they're super cool, the eyes, okay. But we need them to have a low poly and high poly. So I will duplicate this, and I will remove one of the subdivisions. I will name it eyes low, and I will put it with M in the new collection, which is called low. So it's now in new collection, which is called low, and the others are, I will put them in a new collection, which is called high. High, okay, we have high, we have low. We can disable one collection, we can disable the other, which is great. I will disable low for now, because I don't need it. I will go here, apply the subdivision modifier, and I will try to do some eye. The eye will be done in the same way that I have done everything else. I will go to black, and this is not black, obviously, but this is black. Then we will go with blue color. He will have blue color eyes. I don't know why, but he will have a blue color eyes. And why did I start it with black circle? Because I wanted to have this black outline, just for that. That's the only reason. Okay, he's still looking very bad, like bad guy or dinosaur, I don't know. Let's then make the bottom here a little bit lighter and the top a little bit darker, like this. It will be nice. And then we'll put a big eye in here, and the cherry in the top will be a white speckle around this. All right, now it looks, wow. Yeah, how good I am, just I don't, yeah. Okay, let's not go that far to say that we are amazing, but we can pat ourselves on the back. 30 minutes and we have done it. The high poly is done. Now, let's make the low poly. The teeth themselves, they will be low poly from themselves, so let's see. I want to erase part of the teeth because they will be a low poly also as a high poly. The teeth will be high poly and low poly at the same time. X faces. Why am I deleting the things that are not visible? It's normal. We always do that in 3D. We always delete the things that are not as much visible. Now, those teeth will be called teeth, and I will duplicate them, and this teeth 001, they will go to low. Okay, and it's low 001, I don't know why, but it doesn't matter, they will go to low. But those that are not in low, I will go subdivision surface modifier and increase, apply. They are high poly right now, and we will put some color on them, which will be, let's see, a little bit of yellowish color here and there. For them will be fine. We don't want them to be completely white. Completely white, it's boring, it's not good. So like this will be better. Probably a little bit white will be nicer. They're cartoon teeth after all, not, but he hasn't been too kind to his teeth because he doesn't have a toothbrush, and that's why it's like this. So be careful. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking in the chat, but it's it should be okay. Oh yeah, claps. Thank you very much. Thank you for the claps. Blue shirt again, the best. I'm doing like Khabib. He's pointing at his god, right? He's thinking that his god is up there. Maybe he's right, maybe he's not. For him, he's right, so it's fine. I'm not saying Khabib is wrong. I will never say that because I'm sure he will find me. But doing this for me means that I know where the ceiling is. That's just the meaning of it, you know. And when the sky is. By the way, I like the sky, and the sun. I like the clouds, and in the evenings, I like very much the stars, if I can see them. In the big city, it's difficult to see the stars because of all the lighting pollution and the real pollution also. The normal pollution and the light pollution. You cannot see the stars quite well. But when I go to certain place where I can see them, I am pretty happy. I like the stars. Nico, do you have any course where you show how to make functional modular characters to use a building block for various in-game engine? No. I don't have, I think. So now, it's time for the low poly, of course. Let's select this guy and make him a low poly. Quad remesher, X, remesh it. 5,000 probably, it's fine. We're waiting, the remesh is starting. Nico, you don't have symmetry. I don't have symmetry. Really? Ah, because yes. Yeah, I know. I messed up, right? But it will not be such a big deal. It will be fine, hopefully. So we have this guy. This will be our body low, and we'll put it in low. And this is our body high. Yeah, I know, the symmetry is... I messed up. I know I messed up, and now we cannot go back. Ever again. But it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It should be. If it's not fine, it's not my fault. I'm like Michael from The Office, you know, it's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault, not me. It looks almost symmetrical, so it's cool. It's fine. Now, what we should do, we have the low poly of the eyes, we have the low poly of the teeth, we have the low poly of the body. Now we disable the visibility of the high poly, we have only the low poly. We will do UVs. Now we go to UV editing and we start to do the UVs. How? We select... No, before we do the UVs, by the way, we have to do something else. It's very, very interesting. It will save us a ton of time. We just look at it from the front view. We select 1/2 of it. And by the way, it's interesting that the half of the dinosaur is not exactly in the middle, as you can see. It's pretty interesting, this thing. Let me see, by the way, if... Just let me see. If the high poly and the low poly, they are not symmetrical even. That's interesting. So what I will do, I will select all the low poly and move it so it's more... Wow, it's not symmetrical at all. Let me think. So this part here is symmetrical, pretty much. This part. So I will use it. The legs are not exactly flush with the ground, but I don't care. Why I don't care? Because we don't have time to care about that. Yeah, many people will say, but Nico, how can you not care about this? This is something to care about. No, it's not, and we don't care about it. We don't have time to care for some things, my friends. X, faces, we delete the faces. Now here, let's see, okay, this symmetry, let's add a mirror modifier. And the mirror modifier is great. It will do great things for us. Clipping, move it here, it's great. Now, I will disable the mirror modifier just for now. Disable the high poly, we don't want to see it. And now, we have just half of the dinosaur. Okay, half of the dinosaur is enough for us. Now, we will start doing some things with control. So I'm going here with control. We didn't have to do this. So let me do it again from here. Control through here. And then control through this area until we go here. And this will be our mouth. So right mouse click, mark seam. Now we have a seam in this area. For this horn, it will be difficult, but hopefully it will be okay. Then what we need is the head to be separated from the body, kind of. Let's do it from here. It will not be visible from the top. So I guess it's a good idea to get it from here. And we will do it up to this point. Mark seam. Then I will erase the head from here. Or just cut it from here to here. Mark seam. Okay, we have the lower version of the head. Let's connect it through here with control, mark seam. Okay, I'm thinking now about this, and I'm talking about this because it's not easy. It's difficult. So bear with me, please. Don't be alarmed that I'm not talking about bullshits. I'm talking about this. Sometimes I'm talking about bullshit, but sometimes I'm concentrated on my work. Rarely, pretty rarely, but still. Sometimes we need to concentrate through here, mark seam. Then from here, I will go around this paw or arm and mark seam. Then I will go around it from here. Mark seam. Okay, and why did I erase half of the body? Some people will ask. Because this will be much easier to mark the seams and then just duplicate them on the other side. This will be just amazingly easy for us. That's why we're doing it, because easy is good. Mark seam. The leg seam, let's start from this area and go down. If somebody feels like this is not the most interesting thing to watch, then probably 3D character art is not for you, but it's okay because it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And I'm pretty quick and dirty here, so don't be too cruel about it. I'm quick and dirty because we have to be. It's inevitable to be quick and dirty. We don't have time to be slow and clean, basically. That's the idea. So quick and dirty it is. Oh, what's happening here? We have an issue. We have to fix it. Mark seam. Now here we have some issue. Let me see how I will fix it. So select this and M at first. Then select this and M at last. And probably select this and M at last. I'm merging some vertices here because they are inside, which is not good. M at last, select those. And they will make some issues here if we don't do this. But now hopefully everything is okay. And I can select everything and unwrap. Press U, unwrap. And we have all the unwraps in here. I will just put them here on the top because I don't need them to be on the bottom, obviously. And I will select some pieces and just move them. Why? Because I want to be able to select them better, but we'll see. Okay, it's fine now. Now, what we want to do, or have to do, is apply the mirror modifier. Because we have mirror, it's looking good, and apply. Now we go, edit mode, and since I don't want this to be symmetrical, now it is symmetrical, I will unwrap each thing that I don't want to be symmetrical. So this is the top, and it's looking bad because it's strangely unwrapped. Usually Blender doesn't do that. It doesn't unwrap that bad, but exactly for the video it decided to poop itself. Blender, I mean. So yeah, but it's Blender fault, so we are fine. We don't care. This is unwrapped perfectly, so it's cool. This is the top of the head. Let me see how the horn is. The horn is here. Ooh, it's fine. It's fine. If we want to have a detail, more detail on the horn, more resolution on the horn, we have to detach the horn also, which is not exactly a big issue, but now it is because we don't have time for this. So we will not detach the horn. The legs themselves, I don't know if I want them to be completely, but let's do this. So this is one leg. This is the other one. I will just, I don't know how. Here, mirror X, okay, I know. I will just mirror it. And we have both legs here, amazingly well. Now, we have the legs, they're a big part of it. We have the bottom of the body. It's not that important, but we will make it also unsymmetrical. So unwrap and scale it down and put it somewhere where we can see it, like here. Guys, if we have some trolls in the chat or some people that are saying inappropriate things, which I'm saying sometimes, but whatever, if they're writing them, it's bad. I'm sorry about it. I cannot look right now because we are in a huge hurry. We have to finish this model. What is this? Oh, this is the inside of the mouth. We can unwrap it, and since it's not super important, we can make it small and put it somewhere like this. Then we can have the other parts, especially this, which is the bottom of the feet. They are absolutely not important. I will make them small and put them in some area that nothing else can be put. Then I will take the bottom jaw, by the way, is important. We need to make it unsymmetrical, not mirror. Come on, unwrap. Alright, so unwrap is fine. I will put it around here, rotate it. We don't care. Here it's fine. These are the hands or the arms, and I don't think I need them to be asymmetrical, so I will leave them symmetrical. Which can bite me in the ass, by the way, but we'll see, we'll see. The idea is that I'm making some things asymmetrical, some things are symmetrical. And I'm saying as. Now, I left some space here. Why? Because we need to put the eyes and the teeth somewhere. We will have space even here if we have to put them. So this is not completely okay. This UV mapping that I've done is just fast and dirty. It's not very nice, it's not good, it's not perfect at all. But you know that, so it's fine. I'll take the teeth and everything. And I will go to edit mode. Now I will select the teeth. Ooh, a hideous job to select the teeth, but we have to do it. And the eye. And I will say unwrap. And now I will go down and dirty. The eye is, the unwrap of the eye is very interesting. It's just a square. But this is the default unwrap of the eye. So hopefully it will work. The teeth, we don't care at all. So we'll leave them as they are. And yeah, if we care about the teeth, by the way, I would make some seams. But since we don't care that much, because teeth are not as important, they don't have any detail. So it's fine. Now we are ready with the low poly, kind of, yes. Okay, now what we need to do is select. No, don't shade smooth yet. What we need to do very much is go and start in sculpt mode to inflate here and there. So the low poly and the high poly are not completely okay with each other. So probably I would need to move the low poly a little bit. Let's try that. To move it a little bit on this side. Oops. Why? Okay, we have to remove the symmetry. Tiny bit, just tiny. Okay. I think I moved it a little bit, but not too much. Alright. This is better, I think. It's not super nice, but still it's fine. Now let's with symmetry. I go and just make sure the high poly and the low poly are as close as possible. So in the valleys, the low poly is over the high poly. In the peaks, the high poly is over the low poly. So I want to change that. I want to make sure they are fine. They are okay with each other, especially on the nail part. It should be on the claws or nails. I don't know how to say for the dinosaur. What are they? Claws, should be claws. It's something like a lizard, so they should be claws. We have to be careful not to overdo it. So I'm using the inflate brush very lightly here and there, just to make sure they are, especially in some kind of joints areas, they can go away from each other, which we cannot afford. We need them to be close. And with the move brush, with the inflate brush, I am trying to achieve something with nothing, we may say, because the high poly is not perfect. The low poly also has its flaws, but it should be fine. We'll see. Yeah, I inflated here the low poly a little bit. I will make sure the high poly in this area is kind of going to fit the low poly to be more symmetrical. I don't want to use symmetry modifier because I have the paint over already and I don't want to spoil that. So we'll see. But it should be fine. Here it's a problem a little bit. Alright, it shouldn't be a huge issue. Now, let's go and hide our high poly. Just our low poly. Now what I usually do to the low poly, shade smooth, and then I go to normals and always make them 180 here. I don't know why, but it works. So I'm doing that. Now I'm going to this one, which are the teeth, auto smooth here, 180, and on the, of course, shade smooth, and on the eye, auto smooth 180. Now, and shade smooth. Now I will probably go to the eye. It has mirror modifier, I will disable it. Select those, Control J for them to be together. I will apply material, which will be called new material, which will be called body, or I don't know how to spell dinosaur. I don't need that, you know, T-Rex. So this will be T-Rex, this will be T-Rex. We need this for Substance Painter. It needs to have the same name. I will get the teeth and also those teeth. So I will try to get the teeth and the eyes. But where are the low poly eyes? I cannot see them. Interesting enough. Huh. We have deleted them probably. Those are the low poly. Teeth and eyes, they are in the same in the low poly. In the high poly, they are not. So we have, okay, like this. It's pretty cool. Teeth. Okay, all of those I will move up here. And why, you will ask? Because I don't want them, especially on the eyes, if they are inside the mesh when they bake, they will have problems. They will have issues with the normal map and everything. If they are up there, they will bake properly and then I can move them down. Now, let's go and disable the high poly. Select all of this. File, export, FBX, select objects, selected objects only. Dragon sculpts, UV, dragon test, what? Dragon low. Export FBX. We have the low now. We disable the visibility of the low. Select the high poly. File, export, FBX, dragon high. And usually the high I'm writing with capital letters. Why? I don't know, it's just more easy to, you know. You're talking Russia. Ты, похоже, знаешь русский. Я знаю русский. Я понимаю русский очень хорошо. Очень неплохо. Я неплохо понимаю русский. That mark will too. Perhaps leave it as is, not just the threshold while baking. We'll see. Now, the threshold is always has to be adjusted. Now we go to Substance Painter. I'll have to turn it on. Until then, let's see some questions. Press and hold shift to move tiny bit, brother. Alright, shrink wrap. Yeah, there are people who are giving advices to the master here. I don't know. But it's fine. It's fine. Everybody. Я тоже понимаю русский. That's interesting. Maybe you're Russian. Some Russian people, I heard, they understand Russian. I know it's not logical at all, but it's true. It's true. So we select the new project, we select the low poly here, we press OK, and we have the low poly here. Amazing stuff. Now, in order to bake, it's very important. I forgot how to move the things here. Texture set settings, and then we go to bake. Mesh maps. This menu, we will try first with 512 texture because it will be easy. We select the high poly. These distances for now will be fine. Let's go into ID map and select vertex color. If you leave it to material color, it will be a problem. And then we just go to anti-aliasing, at least 2x2, it's fine. And I think it will be nice to bake. Now we will wait for the baking and we will say hi to everybody. We are baking at the 53 minutes mark. So for 53 minutes, we have done high poly, low poly, texture, baking, all the stuff. Now we select one fill layer and we fill it with the texture itself. Base color. We have a texture now. It's cool. Let's see if we have eyes. We have eyes. Of course, they are low. Texture is the low density because it's first, I didn't subdivide the eye too much. And second, we have 512 texture. I think the baking is pretty good. We can see it from up close. It's not bad. The normal map is fine. I think it's fine. So let's go and just bake it in 2000 and something, and we will be seeing all the problems that we have on our High poly, because we have a lot of them, but it's baking pretty well. Yuri, I'm also Brazilian. Yeah, тоже Brazilian, you want to say. My grandpas are from Russia, but I'm based in Brazil, and I can't understand nothing. Ты не понимаешь по-русски. Ты не говоришь по-русски. Я тоже не говорю, so it's fine. Now, let's see what's happening here. Okay, I think it's looking relatively fine. This is texture. Let's put a little bit of ambient occlusion. I always do that. So we go to ambient to another fill layer, fill it with ambient occlusion, the base color. Go to metal, rough, and everything, and just change this to multiply, and change this to like 45 or something. Let's see it with or without it. It's looking great. I don't know if I need it to be that shiny, so I'll go here and roughness. Dial the roughness a little bit more. It's fine. And we can put some skin even on top of it. Skin. We can have some skin. Or we can have a material which is human. Let's say, do we have scales? Lizard scales we have. Let's see if we can put it. It's pretty cool. And lizard scales, very nice. And if we go out of color, we deselect the color on lizard scales. What? Fill layer. What? But our fill layer is, why is it filled with what? Control Z, couple of times. Okay, now our fill layer is fine, this one, but the lizard scales, if we put them up, okay. Now if we disable, okay, and now if we disable the color on the lizard scales, we have just a normal map of lizard scales. Very cool. And we can increase the scale so we can have a little bit of lizard scales. It's not needed, definitely it's not, but it's looking pretty interesting, I would say. So we can leave it or we can not leave it, it doesn't matter for us. We can make a mask here so we don't have the scales on the belly. This is just a detail which we can have or not have. That's up to us. We also don't want scales on the eyes, so I will just disable this and we will just leave as it is. Leave it as it is. Now, let's go and file and export textures. Let's go to export textures and see what we can do. Export them in the folder that we need. A Dragon Sculpt select folder. We will have Blender export. Blender export. By the way, if you don't know how to export textures and easily put them in Blender, there is a video I will show you if I can find it. But let me see what I can do. YouTube. I go to my work. This is my other monitor, so you don't see what I'm doing. And I go to work and from Substance Painter to Blender. So this is the music from the video. We see. Here is the video. This video, for just 3 minutes and 30 seconds, from Art of Pilgrim guy. Probably it's a guy because the voice is guy. So let me just move myself so you can see the channel and you can see the video from Substance to Blender the easy way. That's how it's called. From Substance to Blender. So for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you can see it's just here. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. He's showing you how to set up your export from Substance Painter and then how to import your textures, normal map and everything into Blender. It's very, very nice. I love this. And hopefully I remembered what he showed. So this is what I did. Blender export, this is what I did. Blender export based on texture site, dilation, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then we export. Hopefully we'll be able to do it. Now, we go to Blender itself. We disable the high poly because we don't need it. We enable the low poly. We select this, shading, save it because we need to save it. And then we select Principite BSDF. Now you have to have this Node Wrangler add-on turned on, which is inside Blender by default, but we turned it on. You know how to do it, some of you especially. And then we press Ctrl-Shift-T. Ctrl-Shift-T will allow us to go and to select our textures. We select all of the textures with Shift and Principite texture setup, and it's done. They're here. What is happening? This is amazing. Now let me just go and add a light because without light it will be not good. But now we have a sunlight. Let's go and adjust it. Let's say 2. Let's have a world, just a little bit. The sunlight, let's rotate it. Amazing. It's not the best, but it's fine. Hopefully it's not lagging too much, but it's not a big model, so it's fine. Or at least it should be. Now we have all the textures and everything inside. As you can see, all is connected. We need to do a little bit more connection. This alpha have to be connected to the roughness, and we have to invert it usually. So let's try it. Alpha, connect to roughness. And then we need to select invert color and put it here. And this should work. This now should be okay. Now I will select those teeth and everything, add a mirror modifier, and it doesn't work. Because the mirror modifier is not working with them. Let me think, why is that happening? It should work, but it doesn't. Come on, mirror, what are you doing? So, add a modifier. Mirror. What? All transforms. Okay, this hasn't happened to me before. We have a line, by the way, in the middle here, which I don't completely approve, but it's fine. But I cannot do the mirror of this one. Ah, it's disabled. Okay, thank you very much. It's disabled, but now it's fine. We can put it here. Let's see what's happening. It's absolutely cruel or cool. I don't know which one. And we have the line because the normal map is obviously has some issues. But that's how we do it. Now let's go and add another light. This light is not enough. We'll add another one. This one will be point light. And we will go with 250. And we put it here. So it's a fill light for us. Yeah, it's fine. And let's go to cycles. Let's try to denoise and go to 25. It's still a little bit buggy. And also again we have a line in the middle, I think. But probably this is because of my low poly. Let me see my low poly. If it does have a line in the middle, which means... No, it doesn't. It shouldn't have a line in the middle. Oh, we have a mirror modifier, but I think I applied the mirror modifier already. I haven't. Let's disable the mirror modifier and hide it. Now it should be fine. Yeah, it doesn't have line. It was a mirror modifier which shouldn't be there. Now we don't have the line and it's fine. We have a dragon. Low poly. Completely made for 1 hour and 3 minutes. I know that I should have... Oops. Yeah, let's go out of cycles. It's a little bit awkward. I should have been able to do it in less than 1 hour, but I'm not that good. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's just I am not that good. I don't know. I shouldn't be able to do it, but why? I will delete this video. This is useless. Nobody will watch this. Everybody will say, ha! This sucker cannot do it for less than an hour. High, low poly, UVs, and baking. He cannot do it for less than an hour. This mother... I don't know. Apply the scales. No. Nico, do you support Israel or Palestine? No. I will not support nobody. In the war with, I said that in my previous video, in the war with Ukraine with Russia, I'm supporting Ukraine. Okay, yes, I'm sorry about the Russian guys, but I'm sure most of the Russian guys who are having their right mind, but this is my opinion, they're supporting also Ukraine. which is awkward to support another country in a war, but since you are the aggressor, it's probably possible to not support the aggressor. That's it. But in Israel and Palestine, I simply don't know all the facts. In Russia and Ukraine, I also don't know all the facts. Yes, I admit that. But in Palestine and Israel, I completely don't know all the facts. And also there's another problem. There is another problem. But I will not say it. Politics. I tend to like politics and I speak about politics in this channel. But sometimes I would like to restrain about it. I've seen a lot of people supporting Palestine in Facebook or whatever. And I understand that. I'm not against that. But I'm not gonna make statements about supporting anybody in this conflict. People die from both sides and children die from both sides, which is the most difficult thing. In the war with Ukraine and Russia, it's very easy because children died from Ukraine side only, which makes it very much easy to choose your side in this. But in this conflict, it's not easy because both sides are bad. So how can I support bad people who are killing children? I don't know. I cannot. Who was first, who was second? I don't care. Facts are facts. Israel will delay the stream. Probably they have the power to do so. I don't know. Do you think gods are aliens? Yes. War is always wrong. Exactly. Если Русия поддържит Украину, то его посадят в тюрьму. Yes, if you support Ukraine and you're Russian, probably they will put you in jail. But if you are supporting it just here, not saying it out loud and, it's fine. You are a good guy, for example. Add Shrek ears, please. We cannot add anything anymore because this is the low poly. This is the low poly. How much is this low poly, by the way? It's 22, almost 22,000 triangles. With everything, it's 34,000. Why? Because the teeth and the eyes alone are 6,000 triangles. Wow, this is inappropriate, but still, it's just for show off, it's just for quick thing. So I would never do that in production, to have this amount of polygons only on the eyes and teeth. It's unsustainable. I would, dial it down a lot. But other than that, 34,000 triangles for this, it's fine even for a mobile game, I would say. If this is the only character on stream, it's running or something, it's absolutely okay. So, yeah, bear in mind. This is the low poly. The low poly. Okay, ask me questions. Now is the time. If you asked some questions before, ask them now. Because now I'm free, I can answer. I don't have anything else to do. I did this. It's possible to be done in under an hour if I'm a little bit faster. And the process is a little bit more streamlined. So yeah, if somebody's complaining, but I cannot do a low poly and high poly and everything is very, very slow process and it will take me months. Yeah, I know it's a simple model, but bear in mind, I did it from absolute scratch, from a sphere. I did a dinosaur with teeth, with eyes. I make a low poly. I made UVs, unique UVs mostly, and I baked it. And I put the textures in Blender, and I made a kind of render, which is not good, by the way. The render is horrible and awful, but still, it's amazing. I have 2 Udemy courses from Nico. That's good. You may have more because I have 15 courses in Udemy, or 13, I don't know. So you have more to learn, I guess. You can Have them all. Hey man, do you freelance or work contracted in a studio? No, I freelance these days mostly. And I am, most of my money is coming from my courses. So buy my courses. They are in the link in the description of this video. Maybe. Brother Nico, are you introvert? Yes. Kind of. Sometimes. Nico, what's your advice on skin detailing? Skin detailing, don't do this. No, you can do it, of course, but in my opinion, sometimes it's better to do it, if you can do it in ZBrush, for example, do it in ZBrush. It's easier, or at least you have more control if you do it in the high poly. In Blender, it's a little bit more not possible, because Blender doesn't support that much polygons that's needed for skin detailing, if you mean pores and small skin detail. It's difficult to do it in Blender, although not impossible. But if you can do it in ZBrush, do it. Did you use reference? For this one, not so much. Just few references, but I say that in the beginning of the video, so you can just revert to the beginning and you'll see. Can you just say your opinion? Why all hates Muslims? Why all hates Muslims? What are you talking about? So all people hate Muslims, right? So Muslims hate Muslims too. So everybody, even Muslims, hate Muslims. By the way, that's not completely untrue, because when they were fighting in, let me think, in which country it was. It was in Syria, probably. I'm not sure. So, one type of Muslims, they're killing the other types of Muslims. I'm not sure how are they called, each type of Muslim, but they were killing each other. Which is, I mean, it's not about Muslims. Christians also have killed Christians in history a lot. Nowadays in Ukraine, you can see that, yes. So, it's not about religion in my opinion, although in many cases it's about religion. Definitely it's about religion. But in modern society, if you're hating somebody based on religion, my opinion is you're a fool. But this is my opinion. Just that, Because religion doesn't make you what person you are. You are believing in a certain God, it's okay. But your actions, what you think and what you do, is what defines you as a person. And if you're doing bad things and you are very godly person, whatever God, but you're a very godly person, but you're doing bad things. You are, for example, like those Christian priests that are into children, for example. I don't think you deserve to live, probably, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But the idea is that everybody can do bad things, even if they are a very, very godly person. And everybody can do good things also, even if they don't believe in God. So what defines us are our actions and our thoughts to do those actions, probably. Not our religion. The religion is, at least me, I don't care. I have friends who are Muslims. I have friends who are atheists. I have friends who are Christians. I don't have, I think, Catholic friends. But I know people who are Catholics. They're not my friends. That doesn't mean that I cannot be friends with Catholics, or does it? Maybe I cannot be. But whatever. But I have Muslim friends because we are here in Bulgaria. We are having a lot of Turkish people living in Bulgaria. We are close to Turkey. And it's inevitable. So I know people. How much would you charge for a game character that takes 30 hours to make? 30 hours to make? If it takes me 30 hours to make, probably around $1,500, probably something like this. Yeah, I know it's too much. I know, but it's me. For example, if you want to get like $15 an hour, then your price will be $500 or less. So it's fine. Brother, do you play video games like COD Warzone? No, I don't play. Call of Duty, by the way, I like it, but I haven't played it lately. First Call of Duties, I think the first one I played a lot. Which started in Stalingrad. I think it was the Siege of Stalingrad or Leningrad. No, Stalingrad, I think, yeah. It was amazing. It was a very, very interesting game. Of course, it was very bad graphics, but for the day it was cool back in the days. And then I played a couple of Call of Duties. Nowadays, I'm playing only games on my phone, which are casual games. And also, I was playing Starfield, But my wife complained that I'm playing too much and not paying her attention that much, which is true. So I stopped playing it. And also Starfield is a game that obviously became boring after the 60-65 hours of gameplay. It started to become a little bit boring. But hopefully with some kind of DLC or whatever, they will fix it. How can I add details or modeling low after texturing and shape keys? You probably shouldn't do that. You should add details before everything. And of course, in texturing phase, you can add details as I showed in Substance Painter. You can easily add scales if you want. And other things you can add as a detail. But yeah, you look so handsome today. No, actually I don't look that handsome because I don't have this harsh shadow, because it's very sunny outside. Let me try to turn on the shades a little bit more. What? Now I'm more handsome with the nice shading, you know. As for a Blender software, maybe Substance Painter or Armor Paint, it would be personalized. I've heard better software, Substance Painter or Armor Paint. Substance Painter is the best. I don't know about the others, but I'm using Substance Painter, so for me it's the best. Nico, which course you can offer for ZBrush? I'm offering all my courses for ZBrush, so you can check them out in the description of the video. I have beginner courses for ZBrush, I have more advanced courses for ZBrush. I don't think I have expert courses on ZBrush, but I think they're good enough, the other ones, so yeah. Do you texture part in Blender? No, I never texture in Blender usually. I'm just poly painting in Blender, but I don't texture in Blender. I texture and bake textures and everything only in Substance Painter. It's the best. It's bigger the best, better than the rest. Dragon. And if you want to see your dragon in Substance Painter like this, but with decent teeth, you can do this. You can select it like here. Select it without the lights. We don't need the lights, so just the dragon. Thank you. Okay. File, export, FBX, and select it as low assembled. No, I just did it as a low. That's not good, but it will do. So, edit, project configuration, select, dragon low, okay, and we have it. Dragon. Dudley the dragon, the dragon. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. It's cool. Do you track your time, manages your daily task? Can you give a tip on it? No, I don't. I just start doing something and I do it until I'm sick of it or until I've done it. Nico, you're a really good guy. I really make it seems like I am a good guy, right? But nobody is super good. Don't be fooled that that I'm a ultra good guy. I'm trying to do good things. I'm trying to be good, but sometimes I have my flaws, and yeah, I'm not the ultra good guy because sometimes I'm aggressive. And why? Because I grown up in communist society, and in communist society, as I always say, feelings and emotional intelligence was nothing. It wasn't thought about. Nobody's asking you how you feel. Nobody's asking you to explain how you feel. Nobody care how you feel, you know, in the communist society. So that's why my emotional intelligence was pretty low when I was younger. Now I'm trying to improve it. But the idea is that, yeah, empathy and lack of empathy, lack of emotional intelligence is not a sign of a very good person. Because you can try to be good, but if you don't understand other people, if you don't feel what they feel, if you cannot put yourself into their shoes, it's difficult to act in a proper way. Yeah, I don't know if I explained it quite well, but I think I did. So yeah, in order to be a very, very good person, you have to overwhelm your anger issues. Yeah, sometimes I even catch myself when I'm talking to somebody that I am kind of exciting myself and leaning forward a little bit to be more scary, I guess. But yeah, it's easy to look very good on camera. That's what I'm saying. So don't be fooled like if somebody looks super good on camera, because usually they are in their best self when they are on camera. So what you're seeing here, Nico, is the best version of Nico. It's not the real Nico. The real Nico is flawed, like all of us. So yeah, sorry about that. Even for freelance work, I know, because I have done a lot of freelances. In the years, I have done a lot of jobs for the company. So I relatively well know how much time something will take me, how much hours it will be needed to do it. So I don't need to track it exactly. I approximately know, so I can say the price, and then I do it, and it should be fine. Sometimes problems occur, and sometimes the time can be bigger than I estimated, but that's the risks of the profession. And also, I usually, if I can do something for 20 hours, and I know I will be doing it for 20 hours, I am assuming that I will do it for 25 hours. And the price that I'm giving is for 25 hours. Because if something occur, like a different problem or a little bit of feedback that I don't like, I can compensate for that, you know. What's your most fun freelance project? Maybe the project that I was not paid for, which I talked about in my other channel, in the video about the autobiography video that I did. And I'm talking about the project where this is a smelly bug here on my... So, no, I'm not talking about the smelly bug. The project that I did for a company, which they promised to pay me with the percentage of the sales of the game afterwards, and it never came out. I did some animals for them. It was pretty much fun to do it, although I didn't get paid. But it was fun. It was fun. I mean, doing something which doesn't require you to do clothes and hairs is usually the best fun for me. Because clothes and hairs are not anatomy. They are not what I like to do that much. I do them because I have to do them. I know how to do them. I am good at it, but I just don't like to do it that much. See how I'm leaning forward now, because I like to be more scary. I like to intimidate you. It will not happen because it's on camera, but because I'm sick of sitting in the same position. Nico, I want to be your son. Please adopt me. Okay, good. I will adopt you, no problem. Low emotional intelligence is everywhere in my life. I think I live in an environment like lives young women. Life will be better, and I will make smile. Stupid jokes, yes. Stupid jokes and low emotional intelligence is also all around my life. But my wife is kind of trying also to improve herself in this position. So I am now in an environment that I also can improve. You know, when you are choosing a partner, or the partner choose you, but you have to choose your partner as well. Your partner have to be able to bump you up, in my opinion. Yeah, I know this is a little bit selfish to require your partner to bump you up and to kind of, I don't know, to upgrade you. But obviously they will not upgrade you. They will just give you some ideas how to upgrade yourself, or they will criticize you in a way that you want to upgrade yourself, which is okay. If you find somebody who is not giving a fuck what you do, usually you will stay the same, and maybe you will even go down. You will degrade. But if you find somebody who will criticize you but with some kind of measure, not criticize you for everything, but with measure, and you think that those critics are valid, you can improve yourself. Yeah, I'm going too far away with this, but whatever. Nico, how close to useful retopo do you think that quadrumesher can get us in characters that will be later used in the engine? You can use this dinosaur in the engine. Even a good rigger and animator can rig it and animate it, and it could look relatively fine. There are issues. The legs have to be more separated from the body, so the animation can be better. But even this topology can be used in the engine. It's not a super huge issue. So yeah, but when I'm doing something and I want to do it right, I do it by hand. That's just my opinion. Why I like your jokes? Because you are like probably like me sometimes. Yeah, many people are like me. That's why they like my jokes. This smelly bug I have to murder. I have to murder it. Oh, it's charged. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cat Nigel. Where did you come from? Where did you go? This is my salt gun. I use it to kill, or at least to disable smelly bugs. Usually, that's why I use it for the shotgun, the salt shotgun. It's from China. It's from AliExpress, so I had to modify it a couple of times. I opened it because it braked, but I did it. Yeah. Nico, I'm working on a factory for 12 hours a day, and also the same time try to do 3D characters. That's difficult, that's hard, but if you can do it, that means you are a strong person. Nico, if you... I cannot read this because you are writing too fast, guys. Is there anything like ZMesher guide brush in Blender? No, it's not. There is not, unfortunately. Nico, if you have to model a character that doesn't have a face, but a gas mask covering his face, do you model it as a prop and then put it on, or sculpt it from the head? If I have to do it, I know that sometimes maybe the client will want to see the face under it at some point. So I will make a face below it, just a basic face. Then I will put it as a prop. Then I will bake it with the head in the low poly, and the low poly will be one head and gas mask will be a one low poly. There will be no head inside. And then later, if they want me to do a head inside, then I will charge them for the additional hours that will need me to make the low poly of the head inside and stuff like this. Because in the beginning they didn't want it. So yeah. Come here to learn 3D stuff, gonna live with a better outlook in life. Yes, exactly. Lo, you make a course for Substance Painter with realistic looking No, I don't do realistic looking characters, and I'm not sure I have the ability to do them in Substance Painter. I probably can learn how to do it and then make a course about it, but I just don't like realistic characters because, as you know, from scans and from those plugins for Unreal 5, you can do pretty realistic characters by yourself, so it's fine. Yeah. Can I ask Maya related question? Of course you can. You can ask Maya related question. You can ask Cinema 4 related question. You can ask question about astrophysics. The problem is that I will not be able to answer, but you definitely can ask this question. It's not a problem. He's at war with bugs. I'm always at war, especially in the spring and autumn. We have a lot of these smelly bugs here, and that's why we are at war, you know. Do some people call you goofy? They cannot call me goofy at my face because I am 100 kilos and mostly muscle, and I am almost 2 meters tall. So usually no. Maybe behind my back they could call me goofy, but in my face nobody had called me that, you know. And also they know I have anger issues, so sometimes they are not huge anger issues, but maybe it's not a good idea, you know, not a good idea. Nico, do you have a personal favorite course you made? Probably the Lobo course and the course about the last course that I did, this female with the armor, the armored female. They're one of my favorites, but maybe the most useful course I did up to this point, there are two of them. The head anatomy course, the head anatomy exercises course, and the female anatomy course. Those are the most useful in my opinion, and people are buying them the most, and I think they are getting the most of them. Exactly. Do you ever use Smart Project when UV unwrapping? Smart Project? Smart Project, I don't think so. I usually just use Unwrap. And if Unwrap in Blender is not good enough for me, I am exporting the model in ZBrush. I'm putting it in ZBrush, the low poly, and unwrapping it there with the existing seams from Blender. I'm doing the seams in Blender because it's easier. I'm putting it in ZBrush and I'm unwrapping it there. And usually unwrap for organic objects in ZBrush is unmatchable. Sometimes it makes some issues. Some islands can be just circles, but usually it's doing great. When I import any metal textures from Substance to Maya, it looks... I lost it. It looks like base color and doesn't feel like metal. Unfortunately, yeah. You have to look for some videos about this in YouTube. Here you seem slacking, Nico. Better release the new course soon. You're very right, just as easy. You're very right, I'm slacking a lot these days. Good to see you from India. Thank you. Nikolai, here you're from Chechnya. Thank you for anatomy courses on YouTube. They helped me a lot. Thank you. I bought one and it was really good. But did you model vehicles or guns rather sculpting? Of course, when you're doing characters, you have to be able to model their weapons too. So yeah, usually I am. I'm modeling weapons, armors, everything that I have to be modeling. In the Lobo course, I even modeled and sculpted a dog, chains, and other things. I can show you the Lobo what? Show you Lobo. Lobo was very nice. Here is Lobo, and I modeled his weapon, his armors, the grenades, the skulls, everything is modeled and sculpted by me in this character from scratch, and I show it in the course itself. So this is a course, and I have the figure here, and I will show it to you right now because I want to show it to you, and because it's so good. I will just bump myself. I have to select come on. Okay, I selected myself, but now I will show you the figure. It's super cool. It's amazing. It's just the best, one of the best figures in the world ever. Okay, it has a dog, everything, and it's better looking than the 3D even. Why? Because the guy who painted it is that good, you know? It's just so nice, so good. And you have the zipper in here, even. It's just so cool. When I see it on my drawer where I keep it, you see the chain. It's so nice, man. It's so nice. So when I see it, I'm always, you know, taking a tear a little bit. The tear is coming because it's so nice. I'm putting it back. Next time I may show you the dragon also. You have seen it probably, the dragon and the boy, of course. And unfortunately the course with the dragon and the boy is only for Wing Fox, but it's also nice. What's the one memory from a teenage related to artwork that you cannot forget till now? Oh, this is pretty difficult, but one memory, I will tell you. When I was sitting in the table in the kitchen of my grandfather and grandmother house, they have a huge apartment. They had a huge apartment in the city. So I went there in the kitchen. Huge, I mean, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms plus a kitchen. So I was not sitting in the table of the kitchen because the kitchen was small, in the living room. So, and I was drawing with a pen, not pencil, pen. I was drawing from a bodybuilding newspaper, not a magazine. Back in the days, only newspapers. So a bodybuilder newspaper, colored, and I was drawing Lee Haney, I was drawing Nasser El Sombati, back in the days, famous bodybuilders, and I was drawing them very carefully with shading and everything. And I remember that quite well because they happened to be very nice. I mean, the result was very cool. What should be your yearly salary with your current skills? I will not get anything below $60,000 probably. Yeah, I will not get anything below that. Probably $70,000 even yearly salary for my skills. If they offer me something below that, I probably will refuse, just straight. How do you manage to memorize commands from so many programs? I'm only using Blender and Substance and almost going crazy. Yeah, I'm also going crazy, so it's not a problem. Go crazy, it's fine. That's fine. Have you ever tried 3D Code? It has a great auto topology, but nobody is using 3D Code, you know. And also, auto topology, it's cool, yes, but ZBrush has great auto topology. Blender has great auto topology if you pay some money. And yeah. What are you really occupied now that it's hard to make a course? I am first procrastinating. I am also doing some freelances here and there, and I am also procrastinating a lot. That's probably it. Wait, are you really occupied? Ah, yes. Awesome. Немецки храст это порядочно. Good. Do you have your own 3D printer for that figurine? That figurine exactly that I showed you is not from my printer. I have a printer which is the same that is made to make this particular figurine, but mine is one friend of mine is using it. I'm not using it at all because I don't know how to use 3D printer, so I'm just letting him use it and let him, you know, do whatever he wants with it, and then when I want something 3D printed, I just give it to him and he prints it. Do you still keep these drawings? You can see some of those drawings in my other channel, in the autobiography video that I made. One of the last videos in my other channel, in Speedchar. Should we render in Maya? Yes, if you can. Do you have Discord group? Yes, in the description of this video. Do you still keep these drawings? Yes, I told you. Hi Nico from Brazil. Hello. If you had to use only three brushes for complex characters, what they will be? Hopefully this day will never come that I have to use only 3 brushes, but if I have to use, move brush definitely, standard brush definitely, and smooth brush. That's it. Move, standard, and smooth. Nice to watch you live. I just watched the recordings. Yes, sometimes it's good to catch people live, but it's not mandatory because usually the recordings are enough to see what's happening. Are there any brushes that you miss from ZBrush? Or do the default Blender brushes do almost the same job? In my opinion, Blender is doing almost the same job. It's not completely, Blender brushes I mean. Not completely, the ZBrush ones are a little bit more refined. But when you get used to Blender, for me it took me around 30 or something hours to get used to Blender. I never got back to ZBrush, so it's fine. You can get 3D Code for 400, not sponsored by them. You have to control over the topology when doing the auto topology. I tested it with a face and it was great. That's cool, but since we have Blender and we can do it by hand, yes, it will take time, but it's always good to train your hand topology, because even in those days, which AI is very prominent nowadays, they still don't have an AI that can do perfect topology for face or for everything yet. Maybe they will have in the future, but for now it's better to know how to do your manual retopology, because even with automatic retopology, sometimes you need to redo some parts, to delete some polygons and do them manually. So you have to know how to do it. So why don't you just do it sometimes manually to train yourself? It's nice to train yourself. It's just hideous and slow job, I don't know. Do you think that in the near future Blender will become the industry standard software, or do you think Autodesk will continue to dominate this market? I think even now, Blender in some small studios, independent studios, is industry standard for them because it's absolutely doing the job that Maya or Max can do. You can do most of the things and you can do it for free. So in the small studios, they prefer to put the money into people instead of softwares. So if they can do everything 3D related with Blender, which they can, if they are not doing some super realistic game, which they usually are not, if they are doing some stylized game, it's absolutely possible to do everything 3D related with Blender and probably Substance Painter, but still. Then why should they give money to Autodesk? I don't know. Big studios still are using Autodesk and Maya or Max because first, they have a lot of plugins that they write, personalized plugins for each studio they have for Max or for Maya, and it's difficult to go to Blender, but some of the studios are trying to switch a little bit. It will be pain in the ass for a big studio to switch to Blender completely, and also for the big studios, the subscription for Max or Maya, the payment is not such big of a deal. It's not that big money for them. But for smaller studios, it's big money. And imagine that, smaller studios now, in 10 years, some of those smaller studios now, they will be huge, they will be big, they will be the future big studios. And they will be working with Blender because they started with Blender. They will not go to Max or something. It's, you know, if you start with Blender and you see that it works, you will never switch to paid software. It's just not, you know, logical at all. In any world, it's not logical. So in a couple of years, when some of the small studios now become big, because they will make a game that will blow and it will be amazing, and probably Blender will be industry standard more than now. But nowadays even, it's kind of okay, you can use it in many studios. Did your company give your annual vacation? Yeah, 20 days normal annual vacation. I want my workflow to be blocking in Blender and detailing in ZBrush. Is this acceptable for Kai production characters? Yes, but usually blocking in Blender, why you can block in ZBrush too? Very easily. As you can see, I did a dragon in Blender with blocking and everything for 30 minutes, so I don't know. Do you think spending 10 hours on a single anatomy body practice is good? Yes. I think all the time you can spend practicing your anatomy is good, but don't practice it just practicing. Practice always with reference, always with anatomy reference, picture reference, or 3D scan reference. That's quality practice, not empty practice. Spider-Verse use Blender grease pencil. That's good. Personally, I would do 4 hours on a project, and if that is going right, I give it a break for a day, so come back with fresh eyes and better mind on it. That's a good idea, yes, of course. Everybody can pace themselves. Are you familiar with 2D animation or cutout? You tried it before or you went straight to 3D? I was a 2D artist before, but not animator, just 2D concept artist. And I show some of my concepts in the video. Let me show you which video it is, because probably many people haven't seen it. But YouTube, you write YouTube, and then you go to YouTube. When you write YouTube, you usually go to YouTube. Then you go to Speedchar, enter, which is my channel, Speedchar, probably it would be more appropriate. And then you go to this video, which is my drawings and 3D skills through the years. And in this video, you will see some of my drawings, some of my first 3Ds, some of my concepts even, we may say. And I'm talking about some stories. Yeah, this is my test for for Gameloft. I had to draw an Amazon warrior. Then in Gameloft, what I did, some things. And then my first 3Ds for Gameloft. My 3D test for Gameloft was this cowboy when I became a 3D character. And all of these things in this video for less than 30 minutes. So yeah, I advise you to maybe give it a try. £5 from Lord Joseph. He's a lord, he can afford £5. Thank you. Just want to say I love your stuff, it's extremely helpful, glad I could catch one live finally. Thank you, Lord Joseph, it's nice to... somebody is appreciating me with money. I'm joking, but it's cool somebody to give you some cash, it's fine. Yes, of course I know how to do topology myself, but it's so brain numbing doing it manually. That's 400 is one time free compared to ZBrush, it's cheap. Okay, good. Do you have plans to join any game company in the future? No, I don't have plans, but if they offer me good job, not realistic characters, nice characters, and good payment, probably I would. It's not written in stone that I will not. I'm too late for stream. What time and zone do you stream, bro? Now it's almost 5 o'clock here in the evening. Here I started around 3 and something, so we will end it very soon. Have you ever tried sculpting yourself? No, I have never sculpted. I have never done that. I'm just a simple modeler and I just model cars and planes. So yeah. Have you ever felt stagnant? Yes, I felt it many times, but these days when I felt stagnant, which happens, I can afford, since I have a lot of courses which I sell, and they sell without me have to do anything almost, so I can afford to just wait for it, wait it out, wait the stagnation out. If you're a young artist, you shouldn't wait it out, you should just continue to work, even if you are stagnated, just do something that you like. For example, I like, when I'm stagnated, I just do faces. I open Blender, open a sphere, and start sculpting a face, like I'm doing many times on these streams. So this is when I feel stagnated. Also, streaming is a very good way to get away from stagnation a little bit for me. Maybe because I have people that watch me. If you are streaming, most of you, probably you will not have people watch you, and this will discourage you. But streaming is a good way to, you know, to kind of go over the stagnation a little bit and to feel that you have done something today. Today I have done this dragon, and it's fine. Hi, love from India. I learned sculpting from you only. Thank you for everything. So from me only. You shouldn't, by the way, learn from only one source, because you have to look for other points of view. In my opinion, I'm not saying that my way of sculpting or my way of doing things is bad, but probably it's not for everybody, and maybe some other artists can give you something that probably is more for you. That's just saying. I'm not saying that it is true, I'm saying that it's possible. But thank you. If creating fully covered characters, hazmat suit for example, and have to make a male and female, what other things do you have to model to differentiate beside hip, size, breast? What I would do is I would make a male base mesh, base body. I will make it from scratch, but this is me. Most people will not make it from scratch. Professional artists usually will have a base mesh which will they take, and they will cover it with clothes, whatever they need for the concept, because it's faster. But for me, since I can create a basic human mesh for like 3 or 4 hours, and it's super fun for me, it's a good practice for my anatomy skills, so I always start from scratch, always start from a sphere. I don't recommend it, yes, but for me, I'm a teacher, I have to keep my skills sharp. So this is a way. Even for freelance, I'm using the freelance to keep my skills sharp. This is just me. But yeah, I will model a base male mesh, base female mesh, and I'll put the clothes above them, and it will be then sort by itself. But if you see somebody with a hazmat suit, usually it's difficult to say if it's a male or female, except if it's a very large male, very muscular male. But if it's a normal size male and kind of a large size female, you will not be able to tell which one is which, for example, you know. So, yeah. You said reference is important, but how can I draw my own nightmare without reference? Have you done it yourself? Yeah, nightmares and the anger inside you, to draw it, it's not very difficult, but you need to have knowledge about anatomy, you need to have knowledge about a lot of things in order to draw monsters well. Because I've seen people draw monsters and they say, but this is original. Yes, but it doesn't look good. So in order for something to be original and look good, it's super difficult nowadays because of all the movies that came out and all the original monsters in them. So to make something original and looking good is very difficult these days, and usually it will be original only. But yeah, just have a mood board with a lot of monsters and a lot of creatures, and just take this from that and just mix them. Probably this is a good idea. I never found a teacher as good as chaotic as you. And chaotic as you, thank you. This is probably a compliment, I don't know. Chaotic. I've been learning a lot from your videos, thank boss. Thank you, Victor. I know Maya Substance and ZBrush. Do I need to learn Blender to land a 3D job? No. Maya Substance and ZBrush should be completely enough for you to land a 3D job, if you're good. If you're not good, even if you know Blender, Maya, Max, Substance Painter, or whatever, it's not about knowing the software only. Probably in some very low profile jobs with some very small companies somewhere, only knowing the software will be able to land you the job. But usually you have to be having a good portfolio, nice rendered things, good presentation, and that's it. Man, you deserve more views. I know, right? I know. Is this freelance for a game? No, this is just something for fun. This dragon. Creating modeling ref with AI is pretty easy and fast these days. Definitely, yeah. I also learned from you. I downloaded the male character creation course from a torrent site. Very good. After I learned, I bought it. And I also bought most of the courses from your Udemy profile. That's very good. Thank you very much. That's the way you do it. In the beginning, when you're a student, when you don't have any money, you almost don't have any money to eat, then you buy the courses from the torrent sites for no money. Interesting. And then when you kind of develop yourself and maybe you land a job, some people do, and then you can buy them as something like saying thank you. It's a good way, you know. And also you can say thank you without buying the courses. Just say thank you. It's fine also. I think he meant if you tried sculpting yourself as a character, not sculpting yourself. Ah, okay. If I tried sculpt, yeah, I tried, of course. Every 3D artist at some point had tried sculpting his face. I tried a couple of times, and since I don't have the patience to do it for many hours, it didn't work out so well. And also, if I have to do it properly, I have to photograph myself with not a huge perspective, and then I have to put the photographs, watch them closely, then put them over the sculpt and move the things, make sure the sculpt has the focal point as the picture, the same focal point, and then move it with this position, then put another picture from profile, then move the sculpture from profile and move there. This is the way to achieve perfect likeness. Not just watching and doing it, because it's almost impossible just from watching it. You have to cheat a little bit. It's not cheating, but it sounds like cheating, you know, to put the picture on top of the sculpt with exact focal length and to sculpt it over it just a little bit. Do you 3D print your own projects? Yes, sometimes yes. Many of them. For example, here I have the Viking on my desk with all those things that I've shown you last time on my desk. The Viking is here. Also the Demon Huntress is here with the broken sword, but still she's here. The Demon Huntress from the course. All of my courses in the recent days, especially Blender ones, I have 3D printed. This is the armored assassin with a broken blade. This blade is broken because she fell. And the blade is somewhere behind my desk, but I cannot right now find it because it will be very difficult. Is it true that a lot of people in Bulgaria know Turkish? A lot? I don't know what you mean by a lot. Probably if Bulgaria is around 6 million people, probably 1 million know Turkish. So yeah, probably a lot. 1/6 of the population is a lot, so yeah. During the high poly, low poly workflow, when should one use a cage? I have never used a cage myself, so I don't know. Any tips on social media about promoting and showing your art to more people? Yes, I always say that if you want to have a successful portfolio in ArtStation, first think you have to be good. You have to have good things. Then second, you have to post them one by one. Post one today. Promote yourself in many Facebook groups, which are big. For example, Blender 3D is a big group. Some other 3D groups are big. Big groups, I mean by more than 10,000 people, and active also groups. Promote yourself, promote your ArtStation page if allowed, because some groups doesn't allow external links, which is unfortunate. But those who allow, promote yourself. This requires time to promote yourself, yes, but it's worth it. And yeah, and this way your ArtStation will gain more views, and at some point you will go into trending if you're good enough, of course. But as I said, the first thing, you have to be good enough. And that's it. Nico, do you drop the Gameloft? Yes, last year. So more than 1 year now I'm without job. I'm jobless. I'm a hobo. Living in an apartment, but hobo. Because I don't have a job. Have you tried 3D scanning? No, I haven't. Beautiful. How does it feel to hold it in a hand after sculpting? It's amazing. It's amazing to put some time into sculpting something, like 20 hours or something. So you put a lot of time, you put part of your soul in it. And then it was digital, but then you hold it in your hand. It's physical, and it's so cool. Yeah, you know it. It's so cool. How do you prepare your models for 3D printing? Can you show us sometime? I don't prepare them. I just gave them to the printing. This is printed as a whole piece. It's not separated, it's nothing, just a whole piece. I give it as a file to the guy, and he just put it for printing. And yeah, sometimes mistakes happen, sometimes it doesn't print super well, but he put them again, so it's fine. Yeah, it's better to separate, for example, the head and the legs, and then to make pins so you can combine them, pins and holes. But it's a lot of work, so usually I don't do this anymore. Back in the days when I was printing the Orc with the two guns, which is one of my most famous 3Ds, I separated the head, each arm, the legs, and the base. Everything was separated. And it took me a lot of time to separate it, many hours to make it separated. So I don't do that anymore. With this, the printers that are available today, with the liquid polymer, with the photopolymer, you usually don't need to do it. If the guy who is printing them is good enough, they will print perfectly just in one piece. You're amazing, Nico. Thank you very much. You know, when somebody says you're amazing, I feel a little bit of joy. It's fine. When somebody say you suck, I feel a little bit of sad. But you know, I don't go to that far to think that when somebody said you're amazing, and I'm like, wow, I'm amazing, right? It's not like that. I'm 42 years old almost, so I kind of know where I stand. I kind of know my skill compared to other people. I know I'm not the best, but I know I'm better than most. So when people say you are the best, I know that this is not true. So yeah, you have to not be getting over yourself with the compliments or whatever. It has to be. You have to keep yourself grounded. How do you prepare? Yeah, I see your viewers base for the stream is growing. Consistency pays off. Yeah, today I don't know why, but the viewers are slightly more than normal. We began with 50 viewers. Usually we begin with 30, 35. Now we began with 50, and we have 136 watching right now. It was 139, but probably people are bored by now by me. It's normal. What do you think of passive income versus job? How much less is worth to get from passive income before it's more sensible to get a job? How much less is it worth to get from passive income before it's more sensible to get a job? Usually in the beginning when you start, it's much more sensible to get a job. Passive income for a 3D artist is not impossible, but it's difficult. You have to have a lot of consistency. One type of passive income that you can have is mine. My passive income is from my courses. and I get a good amount of money. I can live with those money. I can save a little bit even, but I have to save a couple of years, maybe more than 10 years to get an apartment even. So it's not a huge amount of money, but it's okay. It's a passive income. But to make courses, you have to speak a lot. As you know, I can speak constantly for hours. It's not a problem for me. Some people cannot. Also, you have to know English to at least my degree. So not perfectly, but at least so people can understand you to make courses. And you have to be professional at something. You have to be able to do something very good. In my case, this is sculpting. I'm a pretty good sculptor. I consider myself as a pretty good sculptor and pretty fast too. Maybe one of the fastest people that I know in sculpting, at least. Da. Da is yes in Bulgarian, in Serbian, in Russian, in Ukrainian probably. In many Slavic languages, da is yes. Da. Passive. The other type of passive income that I know, it's to make models for sites like 3D Squid or for those sites that selling models, to sell models in some sites. But it's difficult. You have to make models, good ones, good models. You have to make them in the perfect scenarios to make the model, to make the low poly, very nice textures, nice materials, nice render, and to rig it and skin it. And then it will be ready to put in the game and to put some animations and to put in the game. Those models are the most sought for. If you can do that, it will take time, of course, but if you can do that, and if you can make a lot of those models, at some point you will start gaining a decent income from 3D Squid or similar site. A lot of questions. He has a lot of experience. Have you ever made a character that needs to have some kind of particles, maybe fog around him in Blender? No. I mean, even if some people are wanting me to make a character with particles, probably I would say, okay, I will make the character for you, but the particles you have to make yourselves, or somebody to hire to make the particles, or the hair, for example. And usually people are okay with this, because they know that I will do a very good job of making the character itself, clothes, anatomy, face, whatever. And then they are willing to put some other guy on the job for the other things. There were 200 viewers doing the stream. Yes, but there were 200 viewers doing the stream when I first started. At some point, maybe one of my first streams, also we hit 200 at some point, I think. Have you ever sculpted a pirate character? Yes. What's your highest earning in an year? What was your highest earning? I think last year was my highest earning, because I was in Gameloft also. I was getting a salary from Gameloft. Also last year was better for my courses than this year. Probably because people were, now it's like inflation, depression, a lot of things. So last year was my best. And the number for 1 year was over $100,000, I think. The overall income. Over $100,000. So maybe 130,000 or something. It was pretty cool year, I would say. Yeah. This year is much worse. I don't have salary. I'm relying mostly on my courses, here and there freelance, but freelances for 1 year, this year probably will not be more than $10,000 for the whole year, which means not too much, maybe even less, unfortunately. So yeah, it's time for you to create a Blender cult. We shall all bow to the bald king, but I'm not a Blender specialist too much. I'm specialist on the things that I do, which is sculpting mostly, character creation related thing. Many things in Blender I don't know. Nico, I have limited budget, I want to upgrade my CPU, but I also want to subscribe to Substance Painter. Which one is more important, or should I just buy a course? Yeah, if I was a normal YouTuber, I would say buy my course, but in this case you have to decide for yourself. The CPU is not the most important thing. I think the GPU is more important, especially if you're using Blender. The GPU is a little bit more important than the CPU most of the time when you're sculpting, when you're doing things in the viewport. So I think you should try to go into this direction. Second-hand, last generation or later old generation CPU, but a big CPU. For example, 1080 or 2080 PC CPU, GPU. Sorry. So those GPUs second-hand, hopefully not being used for mining crypto, would be the best, I think. Nico, I'm 33 years old and I'm a motion designer for about 11 years. Now I'm moving to 3D because I'm loving it and I'm kind of frustrated professionally. Do you have any tip on changing career? No, you just have to try it. You have to work hard. You have to spend time to... you have the idea how to do it probably. But if you want to be a 3D character artist, you have to learn anatomy, working from concept, which are skills that require a lot of time. And if you spend quality time, which means working only from references, not just sculpting for pleasure, but sculpting and watching references and try to understand the forms, then it will be, for example, for 1,000 hours, probably 1,000 hours working, probably you can get pretty good. But I don't promise you that you will get a job because it's difficult for people to get a job these days. Even I don't have job offers for the last 2 or 3 months. I didn't get any job offerings. Before that, I got some job offerings here and there. Now I don't know. Probably people are not searching for artists anymore because I told you the economic situation in the world is kind of worsening and it will get worse probably in next year even. Until it get better, because it's always like ups and downs. That's how it works always. So now we are on the down. At some point, I don't know when, we will start to go up. Maybe it will be the end of next year. Maybe it will be after that. Nobody knows. So you don't join the mesh with Boolean or remesh because there will be issues if you just join the mesh with Ctrl J because of internal mesh. I don't know, a lot of mesh in this question and I don't quite get the mesh. I enter with 101 watching, after a minute it become 127. Rows are refollowing when I go at rows. Yeah. But Nico, I forgot about your life. What a cute little dinosaur. Yeah, cute, it's not super cute, but it's a little dinosaur, yes. It's what I did here in 1 hour and a couple of minutes. I'm late for stream, but I put like anyway. Thank you. Any advice on sculpting a liquid monster, like Akko from Samurai Jack, for example? Ooh, you have to work closely with the rigger and animator. So the topology has to be on point. But I don't know. I haven't done this kind of things, I think. It's probably difficult. It has to be thought of pretty well. Nico, I'm 23 years old. It's difficult to be a character artist. Is it difficult to be a character artist like you? Or can I do it? Of course, when you're 23 you can do anything. But when you're 33 you can also do anything. It's not too late. Even when you're 43. But the problem when you get older, family and other work. So you can support the family. And these are problematic. When you're 23, usually you don't have family, you have time. And if you put that time into good use, into quality practice with references, with anatomy practice, and you know, this is quality practice. Only working with references and paying attention to the reference a lot. Not only sculpting in the viewport, but paying attention to the reference and trying to reproduce it, trying to understand the forms of the human face and the body. This is the quality practice, and if you do a lot of it, at some point you will get better and better and better. And it's, yeah, if you get good enough, you will definitely get some job offers. That's fine. I already have RTX 3060 Ti, but my CPU is kind of bad. Okay, you have a decent video card, I guess. Because Stefan Hartmann, which is the guy who is creating this realistic monster people, he's in my Discord channel. So he's using the same video card. 3060 Ti, and he's doing even pores in Blender. Yeah, he told me that he's having a lot of issues with that, but he's doing it, so it's possible. So the CPU, yeah, probably you have to change it, but the problem with the CPU is you have to be able to choose a CPU which is better than yours, but it fits on your motherboard, because if you don't, then you have to change the motherboard, and that will get more expensive. Use Blender benchmarks and see the scores. 3K more is pretty good. Good. What are the best freelancing websites for character artists? If it's not a secret, I haven't ever used any site but ArtStation, and only from ArtStation I got my jobs. People are always saying, even if they contact me on my email, they're saying, I saw your work in ArtStation and I think you will be a proper choice for our game or for our project. And that's how they start. And that's how I got a job. So mostly I got the jobs from ArtStation. ArtStation nowadays is the biggest site for artists. So when you are searching for artists to do your job, it's natural for you to go to ArtStation and to search there and to see the trending, to look, and you can bump into such people. If you post, enough into ArtStation, or frequently enough. I haven't posted in a couple of months, and now I don't have too much offers. When I post and my work goes to trending, then people start to contact me. That's normal. Also, over 40 you get body issues. Yes, if you don't move enough. You have to just move enough. Have you tried sculpting in VR? No. How often do you get a new computer as your main workstation, Nico? The last time I got a new computer, I think it was 3 years ago. And next time I want to change it probably after 2 years. So 5 years is a good choice if you put enough money into it in the first place. For example, in order to get a new computer, I will say I will give $3,000. For $3,000, I will get a new motherboard, a new or used GPU. Sometimes used GPU is better. You have to just choose nicely. Because GPUs are very expensive, a new CPU and new RAM, probably a new SSD, but that's not mandatory. And maybe I should change my PCU power supply, because my power supply is already, let's say, maybe 10 years old, maybe a little bit less than 10, probably 7, 8 years old. But yeah, it's old now. It was good enough back in the days. But now it's getting older. Probably I should change it, because maybe I will have issues with it. If the power supply, especially when it gets old, it degrades, some components degrade, and it starts to give less power. And then if your components are gaining and want more power, at some point you will get problems with this. Take an i5 1360 with a 30 and drop and 32 gigabytes of RAM for memory for ZBrush. Yeah, 32 gigabytes of RAM is, I may say, for professional 3D artists is a minimum. I have 64, and when I work with Photoshop, Chrome is very hungry these days. Blender and Substance Painter opened at the same time, and other things, then I get over 32 gigabytes of RAM. So yeah, you need more. I'm 16, I get body issues, so I sculpt lying down sometimes. That's cool. Sculpting lying down. Probably I will maybe do it. Nowadays I can sit, and if I sit straight like this, I don't get issues with my lower back. But if I don't sit straight, if I sit like this, then I get issues with my back, with my neck and everything. And usually every hour you have to stand up for like 10 minutes, you have to walk. But I don't do that. And most people don't do that. Because when you are having some work, you just want to do it, and you are inspired and you start, and suddenly like 4 hours have passed and your blood circulation is 0, and you start to feel pain in the neck, in the eyes, in the head, in the lower back, in the knees. All the things, all the things. I want to make anime models. Do I need to learn sculpting a lot? I would say yes, but I've seen people making anime models with just modeling, without sculpting, so probably you can try. Nico, which visual style of the project suits you perfectly? Can you name examples? Maybe something like League of Legends or Fortnite. these types of styles are I like the most. Stylized, slightly and not so slightly stylized models. Do you use a laptop? Yes, I use a pretty powerful laptop when I go to the seaside or the mountains, wherever I go and I have to work from there. I use my laptop and it's pretty powerful. The minus of my laptop, it's small. It's 15-inch laptop, so it's small. It's very movable, but it has 64 gigabytes of RAM, which is rare for a laptop. It has a desktop CPU with 16 cores. No, 12 cores. 12 cores, but with the interpolation they become 24 cores inside Windows. So 24 cores inside Windows. It's an AMD CPU. But the minus of this is that it's pretty loud. When I start working, the sound of it is like the plane is taking off, you know. But it's working, it's pretty powerful. The power supply of my laptop is, the power supply unit is pretty big, and it's 250 watts or something like this, which is a lot for a laptop power supply. I'm not sure exactly how much it is, I have to check, but it's pretty big and heavy. And it needed because also it has 2070 video card, 2070 RTX video card inside. So it's a good laptop. It's a pretty good laptop, and I need it because when I'm using Blender, for example, for some high level sculpting, this video card is helping for it to bear with me, you know. But of course the sound is amazing. Every time when I start sculpting and it starts to take off, the plane is starting to take off, it's like some people, when they don't know what's happening, they start to look outside if there is rain or storm or whatever, because the sound is like super huge. While sculpting, how can I achieve smooth mesh at the end with good details? Smooth brush is making it too smooth, or if not too smooth, there is not enough polygons. You have to have enough polygons in order to make it smooth. And also, the best results is when you have enough polygons, but below it, you have a nice topology. If you don't have a nice topology below it, you just remesh, then usually the high poly is not super ultra smooth. Most of the time it's smooth enough if you put enough polygons on. But yeah, with the better underlying topology, and if you subdivide only, then you can get the best results. Very good content to watch while at work. Yeah, but if you're not at work, is it bad content to watch? You have to think about it. First time watching a stream, long time enjoying though. Thank you, Adam. Advice on sculpting with a mouse, except saving money for a tablet. Tablets these days are not very expensive, and you can get like the cheapest Wacom tablet, for example. I think you can get for less than $50 second hand. And all my tablets are second hand that I got. I'm using only one by Wacom, which is the cheapest Wacom tablet, and I have a couple of them, maybe 5 or 6 I have, because they are so cheap. And when I go to the website, which is our something like eBay, but this is for Bulgaria, Romania, I think India also have it. It's called OLX. So this website is like eBay, but in our countries we don't have eBay. So yeah, we're buying from, but whatever. So when I go to the site and I search for one by Wacom, sometimes very good offers came second hand, and I have to buy it because it's so cheap. Less than $50 sometimes for this tablet. So sculpting with mouse, it's okay for a couple of months, for example, just to, you know, bump up your skills without using a tablet because you don't have. But at some point, if you want to be serious about it, you have to buy a tablet. Especially if you are above 18 years old, getting a loan to buy a tablet, maybe it's the best loan you have ever gotten. And it will not be a huge loan. It will be $50-$60, something like this, if you don't have those kind of money, if you cannot get it from other types. But usually, most people from the Western countries especially, $50 are not the type of money they cannot get from, for example, ask your mother for this type of money or your father. They will give it to you if it's for a good cause, a tablet, for something that you can learn. Yeah, the rocket fell, probably. What laptop do you use? I use the laptop from this company, XMG, I think it's called. This is on my desktop here, XMG. So let me see, XMG laptop. XMG, yes. There, I think it's a German company, and I bought it from here. That's okay. It was a laptop with I think Apex 15 with a Ryzen 9, I think it's mine. So it's a desktop PC, it's a desktop CPU, but in a laptop. They managed to dial down a little bit the wattage and the heat, and it's almost the same performance as a desktop version, but in a laptop. But it's pretty loud, as I said. And the power supply is pretty huge. 230 watts. Usually the normal laptop power supply is no more than 200 watts. Even 150, 160 watts, something like this. This one is huge. And with RTX, it's, yeah. This is my laptop. It was not cheap, but it was worth it, I think. You don't need a tablet to sculpt. Of course you don't. How many modifiers you used? Sometimes I've used, like, let's say, sometimes I use mirror modifier, subdivision surface modifier. Then I may use solidify modifier, and probably one more modifier. So no more than 4 modifiers at the same time. Have you thought about getting portable screen with it, or that wasn't necessary? I have a portable screen. I bought it from AliExpress, but usually, I usually use the second screen for references. But since I found out about the PureRef program, I don't need it. I just put the PureRef here in the corner of my screen, and I have all the references I need. So, yeah, I was using the second screen, and I have a second screen. It's kind of a flat, just screen. I think it's 17 inches or something, but it's not a good quality screen. What I mean by that, it's kind of in a very lit environment, you cannot see it quite well. It's not contrasty. Some colors are not visible there. It's strange. It's cheap, that's why. But it's portable. Yeah. You said you won't go ultra realistic characters. Do you mind if I ask why? Okay, I will tell you. The ultra realistic characters. If you see my portfolio, I don't have ultra realistic characters. You see, this is very nice. But let's see my portfolio. No ultra, this one, yes. But this one, the render itself, I made the render, and then the mustaches, I made them in Photoshop. The eyes and the eyebrows, I made them in Photoshop. So, you know, making an ultra realistic character is difficult, it's very time consuming, and I don't particularly like to do it. This one, if we see, let's see this a little bit closer. Yeah, it's not perfect. This is the 3D. But the render is better because I spent time in Photoshop to do some things interestingly. But usually I don't do it because it takes more time. Even if they say, okay, we will give you the money to do the realistic character. I don't think that I want to spend so much time on a character. I am not a super patient guy, and I like to spend no more than, let's say, 40 hours on a certain character. If I have to spend more time than that, it will mean that I will do it for more than 1 month probably. And I have a problem with this, you know. An anxiety. It's not cool. How to start making some money from character creation. How to expose yourself on the market. I just said it, just make sure you have a lot of followers on ArtStation, and you will have them if you're good enough. So the first thing, start to getting good enough. Just do a lot of practice. Working for less than an hour every day and practicing, even if it's quality practice, it's not gonna take you far. You have to practice for more than 1 hour, for more than 2 hours every day, and not missing a day, so you can improve yourself. Otherwise, you will stay at the same level, not improve. Or you will improve, but very, very slowly. And it will take many years to get into a certain level that you need to make money from it. How do you use PureRef above your Blender? You just put PureRef on always on top, and that's it. You see, always on top enabled. Control-Shift-A, I think. Control-Shift-A. Control-Shift-A is changing it. And you can go to right-click, settings, and K-bindings, always on top, Control-Shift-A. Everything is, you don't have to ask in the channel. You can check it out in YouTube, in Google. This is very easy to understand, I bought the display tablet, but kind of regret because head position is awkward compared to non-display tablets plus monitor. Yeah, I heard that, and I know people that are selling their display tablets for a normal tablet because they don't like how they have to, put their head, and their position is not nice. ZBrush is coming to iPad. Will you try that? I don't have an iPad, so I probably will not. Do you think just one very high quality model in a portfolio can get you over offers in the beginning? Just one very high level model, maybe, but people will be a little bit wary because one model, they don't know if you are consistent. They want to see 3 or more nice things in your portfolio, so they know this guy can do the stuff. He's consistent, he's always producing this result, and we are happy with this result. So we will hire him for this result. If you have only one model, they don't know if you have spent 2 years making this model, and when they hire you to do a model for 1 month, you will do something completely different and abomination. It's and also about the ZBrush question, it's coming to iPad. It will be paid. So I'm using Blender. I don't want to use ZBrush anymore. Nico, what the tax rate in Bulgaria for your profession? I think my accountant has managed to squeeze it to a little bit less than 10%, I think, the tax. Nico, can you review my work, Nico? Someday, maybe, if you are good. So be good. And Santa will visit you, or I will review a portfolio. How do you not lose interest in a model that takes you a long time to create? Exactly, I lose interest. That's why I don't take realistic models, because they take more time. I make a model and after a week I get bored and leave it halfway. Yeah, but if you are paid to do some model, you will not leave it, because you are paid to do it. And usually, my way of working is, I work a little bit, like 2 or 3 hours on some model. Then I show pictures of the result of the guy, and for 3 hours, I can make a lot of things. So I show it, and then I get paid like 30% of the money, of the whole money. Then I finish the high poly with some feedbacks, and then I get 20% more. So 50% of the money I've got. This way of work is making sure that I get money in each stage of the model, and I stay hydrated, stay motivated for the work. What do you think about tutorials for makeup portfolio? You can, but it will not look so professional. So I think in the beginning you can put the tutorials for a portfolio. I mean, works from tutorials for portfolio. But at some point you have to start making your own works. So just find a nice concept, do it for a couple of months. In the beginning it will be probably a couple of months, and then put it in your portfolio, then another one, and at some point just remove the tutorial ones, because I told you it's not looking super professional. It can show that you can do the job, but it also shows that you need still somebody to guide you, which is not what people look for in a freelancer usually. Do you have a schedule or something? Schedule. Yeah, I know, both are correct, I think. Or something that lists your next stream subject. No, I don't. But next stream probably will be, maybe tomorrow we can do one, because I have free time. And maybe I will do something casual, not like today. Today I bumped myself, I kind of pushed myself a little bit for 1 hour to make this character and to know high poly and coloring and low poly and UV and then baking and then putting the textures in Blender, everything for 1 hour. I mean, come on, it's too much. But I managed to do it kind of. Next time, probably little something casual, maybe some face sculpt or whatever, and then ArtStation reviews. So maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Nico, what SSD brand you use on your system? I think one of my SSD is Samsung. I don't know. Samsung, probably, yeah. I think Samsung. Not super sure though. Okay, guys. What about ZBrush for iPad? I don't care about ZBrush for anything, because ZBrush for iPad will be as paid as the ZBrush for PC probably. Maybe not the same price. If it's for iPad, probably it will be a little bit less, but not too much. Maybe some professionals will use it, and I'm sure that they will find it pretty useful, because it will be nice to work on the go, because the iPad is very portable. But I don't care about it. I care about Blender for Android tablets. That's what I care about. If they can do it properly, without some makeshift add-ons or whatever, it will be nice. How much storage do you have in your desktop? Probably around 10 terabytes, I'm not sure. Terabytes. Do I have 10 terabytes? Let me see. It shouldn't be 10 terabytes. What are you talking about, Nico? 10 terabytes. It's too much. Are you crazy? You're crazy, bastard Nico. This is my system, by the way. 64 gigabytes of RAM, AMD Ryzen 9 16 core processor, 3 point something gigahertz. It's fine, but where is my storage? This is just one local disk. Where is the other disk? No. View storage use on all drives. So my first drive is 1 terabyte, second drive half terabyte. I have 7 terabytes. So around 10 terabytes, a little bit more probably than 10 terabytes. It's fine, yeah. Because I have 8 terabytes storage, one of them. This one is 8 terabyte. It's 7.27 though. But it's 8, they advertise it at 8. So I have 1 8, 1 3, 1 something, so 10, it's around 10. How much the low poly? $50, I can give it to you for $50. It's, yeah, I done it for 1 hour, so $50, okay. Why do you not update to Windows 11? I don't know, I don't need to. If it works, don't fix it, you know, because it works. Why should I fix it? You know, Windows 10 is working very well for me. Samsung is a reliable brand. I asked because I saw other day when you were remeshing your system lagged. I don't know. When I'm remeshing on stream, usually what slows it down is the graphics card, usually. Because I'm streaming, the graphics card is working a lot. And when I do something which is involving the graphic card, it can lag the stream. So, see you guys. It's sorry about the super long stream, but I see people are watching. Over 100 viewers the whole stream, which was great. Thank you very much. See you in the next one, which probably should be tomorrow, and ArtStation reviews, hopefully.